The campaign is okay at best. You learn little to nothing about what's going on, the lore, or why you're the only one who can save the world. They basically force you to view and read your Grimoire cards to know anything about the story. But if you find the story boring, then why would you want to waste your time reading about the story? Even then, they really don't provide that much information. Honestly, even though it does
I
give
wasn't
more
talking to you,
details and
by the way.
story elements, I could almost say the campaign
And
here
the
is as
Guardians
bad
fell.
as Titanfall's.
Strong
But at
winds.
least you don't have to play multiplayer to play the
You made it.
campaign. I
Yes,
do like
yes.
how the entire campaign after the tutorial level can be played in co-op, but it feels totally half-assed
Positive.
because your friends slash teammates don't appear in any of the cutscenes. I mean, you basically advertise the game as a co-op experience, yet you don't take the co-op aspect into account at any point, other than the difficulty level. The story is a beat it once, never care again affair. There's little to no detail about anyone's background, the characters aren't fleshed out at all. The story just screams, buy our DLC if you want to know who these people are. But if your story sucks, then who wants to pay for more of it? I mean, seriously, the story is such an utter disappointment here. It's short, it's repetitive, it's basic. Go here, kill this. Go here and kill a bunch of enemies and scan that. That's about every mission for you. Oh, wait, no, that is every mission. Where's a racing mission? A survival mission? I don't know, anything. It's just so repetitive. It's boring. You cannot enjoy this game's campaign solo more than once. I felt like the game was finally starting to pick up, but that was on the final boss. Wow, that to me was an utter disappointment. I thought that after they released Halo Reach, which had a decent story, Bungie would start having better stories in their games. But this game shows that they pushed more story into the road, watched it get run over, and then proceeded to stomp on it until you couldn't tell what it was anymore. Destiny has one main flaw. It is one of the most boring games ever if you play by yourself. Destiny is a great co op experience, but as a single player experience, it's horrid. I literally can't stand this game solo, which is sad, because I love playing the Halo games solo. So, what did they do wrong here? Free roam has the easiest flaws I can point out for solo play. All the side missions are boring. There are basically four types of missions: go here and scout or scan this area, go here and kill this target, kill a bunch of enemies and collect their items, you know, the worst part of MMOs, and kill a bunch of enemies, and that's it. Each weapon has their own use in the campaign. Scout rifles are good for long range kills. Auto rifles are good for close to medium range. Hand cannons are good close and medium range also, but they have a slow fire rate, but do a lot of damage per shot. And finally, pulse rifles, they kind of suck. I have never found an instance yet where a pulse rifle is better than a scout or auto rifle. They have too much recoil to use at long range, and at medium range and close range, the auto rifle is still superior. There's supposed to be a patch eventually that will make auto rifles less good at longer distances, but currently I feel pulse rifles are not worth your time to use. Special weapons include shotguns, snipers, and fusion rifles. Snipers and shotguns do what they're supposed to, but fusion rifles are kind of like a medium range shotgun with a charge time. What I mean by that is you can free aim most of the time and use it like a shotgun, but for some of them you can aim down the sight and kill enemies from much farther than a shotgun can reach. Finally, the heavy weapons are rocket launchers and machine guns. Rocket launchers are great for crowd control, and machine guns are great for taking down tougher enemies like bosses. Matchmaking is shit. If members of your team leave, you will rarely, if ever, get replacement team members. So if you have three people leave in a 6v6 game of capture, then you are fucked. Also, the balancing system is horrid. No matter what anyone tells you about the multiplayer level balancing, it is all a lie. Higher levels will kick the ass of any low level, unless they are really good at the game or have a lot of experience. And because the multiplayer search system is so broken, you can be a level 6 against levels 18 and over. If you want to enjoy the multiplayer, you should definitely reach level 15 before even attempting to play. Also, I can't even take playing the multiplayer solo anymore, because I swear, my team I'm put on is always fucking shit. That's not to say the multiplayer is bad. No, no. On the contrary, I love the multiplayer. It's fun, action packed, and with some more balancing, it could be one of the best multiplayer games of 2014. The problem is, in its current state, it's just kind of all over the place. There's only one option for primary weapons in multiplayer: auto rifle. Why is that? Because it's the only weapon that is effective. Most hand cannons are too weak or merely have too slow a fire rate to be useful. The pulse rifles are okay at medium range, but most auto rifles can beat them still. And the scout rifles are good. The problem is, all but maybe two maps are close quarters, and the scout rifles are useless in those situations. Currently, there are only 10 maps available on the 360 and Xbox One versions of Destiny. There are two maps that are big and have vehicles, but I feel neither is very well balanced. There are two maps exclusive to 6-player game types, and the remainder are for any game mode. Some of these maps I find merely okay, but most of them I have to admit are fairly well balanced. The special weapons are what removes most of the game's balance. Snipers and shotguns, again, do what they're supposed to. Snipers are for long range, shotguns are for close range. The fusion rifle, however, is all over the place. If you don't have a rare or higher one, I would not recommend using it. It can be utter garbage. However, if you have a legendary or exotic fusion rifle, they can be the most overpowered weapons in the game. And many people, including myself, think that because of this, fusion rifles are for babies. This is because many of them are full auto, have very short charge times, allowing them to be fired repeatedly, and some of them simply have ridiculous range. Now back to snipers and shotguns though. These are all well balanced. There are snipers that have a high fire rate but low damage, and vice versa. In normal matchmaking, there is no insta-kill snipers, unless you get a headshot. Shotguns are balanced by some having longer range at the cost of damage or fire rate, or any mixture of stats such as these. The heavy weapons are available in multiplayer, but only at certain times. Throughout the match, the announcer will notify that heavy ammo is on the way, and then that heavy ammo has arrived. Heavy ammo will spawn at 2 to 3 places depending on the map. One on each side spawn points, and if there are 3, one in the middle of the map. Because heavy ammo is so scarce, they are of course the best weapons in the game. Rockets will most likely insta-kill you, and machine guns will kill you in 3 or 4 bullets, or can fire so fast that you couldn't even count how many. However, even though they are the best weapons in the game, I like how there is a risk versus reward aspect to heavy weapons. Rockets only give you a few shots, and machine guns give you ammo that will last longer. If you die with heavy ammo on you, then the player who killed you can pick up some of the ammo. So do you risk using a machine gun where you take longer to use the ammo, or do you use the rockets so you can use them quickly and give the enemy a lower chance of stealing the ammo? People that have bad connections can ruin your experience online, to the point where you shoot them point blank with a shotgun, and they somehow end up behind you. The problems just keep pushing me further and further from the multiplayer. It's just too unstable. Until they get the balancing down correctly, you probably won't see me on multiplayer often. And no, I'm not just bad at the game, by the way. Also, why the hell is there no second or third place reward in free for all? The hell, Bungie? I guess second and third place players in a free for all game are just terrible, so they get nothing. So if you want stuff that's worth your time and you know you're never going to get first place in free for all, and then it's not worth a damn. My friends and I agree that the controls are very responsive, except for sprint. After doing certain actions such as melee and double jumping, clicking the left stick to sprint sometimes will not respond for what feels like a random amount of time. Sometimes it lasts about a second, no big deal, right? Well, once in multiplayer, I swear it didn't let me sprint for at least 6 seconds. And when you almost always play control like me, 6 seconds is a long time. Destiny is beautiful. It is easily one of the best looking games I have played on the Xbox One so far. While it does have a few ugly textures here and there, most of the details and textures are so good that it isn't enough for me to mark the graphics down. The lighting is also really good. I don't know how many times I ended up staring at my own shadow to view the animation of it. The skyboxes are gorgeous. Whoever designed them needs a raise. Destiny sounds great. The soundtrack is superbly done. I love just about every soundtrack in this game, to the point where I really want a physical copy of it. The sound effects are also very good. Each weapon type has their own unique sounds, and I like how exotic weapons have their own special sound effects, but some sound really stupid. Also, even though I really don't care for the Ghost's voice actor's performance, it would be nice if it wasn't almost always drowned out when you turn away from it or get too far. The fun factor is kind of meh. I never found a point after beating the campaign where I had fun playing by myself. When I play with friends, however, I have a lot of fun. If you don't have friends to play Destiny with, I wouldn't recommend buying it, because its fun factor will drop very fast. With friends, however, it is a great time to be had. Honestly, I can't figure it out. I can bash the many issues in this game all I want, but I can't deny the fact that I keep coming back each week to play it again. It's addicting. I just keep finding myself playing it again, trying to level up my armor or weapon, or trying to get better armor or weapons. I also end up playing it for hours at a time each week, trying to do the game's raid with each of my characters. There's just this addicting aspect to the game that earns it the badge of addiction. Super extra negative point round! Why no custom games? I could swear I heard somewhere that Bungie said they didn't want to make custom games because they wanted to focus on the story. Well, that would be all well and good if the story wasn't trash. There should be a forge mode or something, so you can make your own game modes and strikes and or raids. Remember how you could choose the colors on your Spartan in the Halo games? Yeah, you really can't do that here. You have to choose pre-designed colors called shaders. You don't get to choose the same two or three colors in the combination, they are chosen in the shader. So you get black, white, yellow, or green camo, or white, white, white colors. And that is just lazy. There are very limited customization options here. The same problem can be made with a sparrow. You can't choose your sparrow if you want a good one. If you want a good one, you only have 7 options. The one you have a very small chance of getting from playing a raid, or the 6 that you can buy from either the Vanguard Armory or the Crucible Trader. You can upgrade these 6 to legendary sparrows with parts from a certain salesman that appears on weekends, but because these types of items exist, why isn't there an item that lets me upgrade my uncommon sparrow that has colors I like to a rare, so I can upgrade it to a legendary later? Huge glaring flaw! How hard is it to program it so a bounty isn't available when the game type isn't playable? The answer is, it isn't. I don't know a lot about programming, but I know it doesn't take a lot of work to make it so if X game type isn't available, then make X bounty void. I don't know how many times there have been bounties for the scavenger game mode when it isn't even available to play. This brings up another issue. Why do they have to remove a game mode in order to place another? Why can't Scavenger always be available? To place the game mode where you play on the 2 vehicle only maps, they remove Scavenger, but explain to me why they both can't be active at the same time.